Hey YouTube, Tweak here, bringing you guys an update to my Evilswarm deck profile for month of Hidden Arsenal. Sticking to one of the later releases, but potentially one of the last two for the dual terminal storyline. We have Evilswarms. I've done a couple deck profiles for this deck in the past for my channel, and this one is pretty much the same take, but with the updated stuff of all that you can run for the deck. We have 3 Rescue Rabbits now, which I think just, ups the potential for the deck to grab Heliotrope and go for your first Ophion play. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. Start off, I run 3 Evilswarm Caster. The pretty standard lineup. Caster has the additional normal summon play that helps very much in the deck when you have another Evilswarm in your hand. Mandragora, if your opponent goes first and they have more monsters than you, it's an easy special summon, not taking up any normal summon. 3 Evilswarm Kyrkion, probably the best one in the deck, just because it sets up so many plays with its banish, add back effect, and then additional normal summon play. You have graveyard work here, and like I said, it's potentially a 1-card play when you already have resources set up with Ophion from your graveyard. And also 3 Evilswarm Heliotrope. This is the Evilswarm Rabbit, but Rescue Rabbit target for the deck, and you can shuffle this card back into the deck with Infestation Infection. So drawing in your hand doesn't have to be the end of the world, because you can always put it back with that trap card to reuse with the Rescue Rabbit. I think the biggest hit we did take with the deck was banning Daigusto Morale, mostly because it took away from a lot of the shuffle back power this deck also has. And also 2 Evilswarm Thunderbird to finish off the Evilswarm lineup for the deck. It's a pretty standard banish play to go off of. Good to stall with the back row, just keeping this card and then banishing it whenever it would be destroyed or something like that. Just 2 though of this card. Everything else runs really well together, just for the fact that they all have summon capabilities, but Thunderbird, like I said, is just there for stall, so having multiples of this in your hand don't really help you out as much. And then for the Rescue Rabbit, I actually run 3 of this, even though you only have 1 target. I have seen a lot of other decks run it, and it does have a lot of good play with the deck, mostly because you want to get this in your hand as fast as you can, and running it 3 makes for the easiest way to do that. And if you ever open up another one, you can just stall out if need be, if you need to do it, and summon it to overlay with it. I never like to do that, and it's pretty bad play to do, but most of the time I don't have to worry about that issue. Also, to wrap up the monsters, 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I like maining it in this deck just to have that hand trap option to fill in the monster space a little more. I don't really have too many other options to run in the deck for monsters. I like to keep it pretty standard for the Evilswarm lineup. And this, if you have the Ash Blossoms, obviously run that. But this is potentially good as well, just for that fill-in. And moving on to spells, I run 2 Infestation Pandemic. I only run 2 of this card because 1, it's searchable off of Ophion, and 2, too many of these. Yes, you have Evilswarms on the field that are immune to spell and traps, but that's literally all you have. Doesn't really handle the monster issue too well, so it doesn't benefit you too much. And like I said, you want to search this card. You don't want to have to end up drawing it off of a play. And for draw power, 3 Allure of Darkness cards. Way too good. All, if not most of the monsters in this deck are dark, so you'll always have the banish power for this. And also 2 Pot of Desires. Now this card with Allure just makes for so much going through the deck, drawing cards. It just helps so much with the key plays. I might even bump it up to 3 after a little more testing just to see how it does. Another good thing with the Desires with the search is you have the 3 Rescue Rabbit targets, so potentially you could banish 2 of them, get your draw, grab the last one. But like I said, you also do risk hitting those Heliotropes, so the best play I would say is always just opening up with the 1, using it, getting the Heliotropes out of the way, and if you're really lucky, banishing 1 or 2 of the other ones for more draw off of the Desires. And 1 Reinforcements of the Army to grab Caster, pretty standard. And then Dark Hole as well. If you want to put Regeki in, you can do that as well. I know Dark Holes are a little easier to come by. And with Dark Hole and Infestation Pandemic, you can still save a lot of your Evilswarm monsters. So that and the Torrential play are still big ones I like to use in the deck. And moving on to traps, I run 1 Infestation Infection. This is the putback effect. Once per turn, you can shuffle 1 Evilswarm monster from your hand or face up from your side of the field into your main deck to add 1 Evilswarm monster from your deck to your hand. Put back the heliotropes, like I said, most of the time they're my main target, or if I have a second Thunderbird in my hand to put back, I do that as well. Very easy to grab what you need for more key plays with this. And it's also searchable off of Ophion, so you can't go wrong there. And also 1 Solemn Warning, pretty standard back row. Same for Torrential Tribute. This with the Infestation play, once again, when your opponent summons a monster. I love doing it when they make Scapegoats as well, because you get rid of all the Scapegoats, obviously, and protect your Evilswarms if you chain it with Infestation. 1 Floodgate Trap Hole and 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. Once again, just key back row that I really like. When the monster's face down, your opponent can't link summon either, so that can really foil with them. 2 Storming Mirror Force, probably one of the best Mirror Force in the game right now for this deck, especially since you have monsters always on the field. So drowning sorry about that. Mirror Force doesn't really do you too well, because if you don't have any monsters, you're just not playing your key plays right. Also 1 Macros Cosmos, because late game after you get your monster set up, you don't have to really worry too much about your graveyard for any of your plays. So go for this for some of your basically foiling with your opponent. And also 2 Dimensional Barrier. This is for stopping more plays. When you have Ophion, you limit their summons of level 5 or higher monsters. Use this card to stop other plays they would attempt to do, whether it's, using Castel or something that could shuffle or get rid of Ophion from the field. Like limit whatever you know they're going to go for, depending on what they have on the field with this card. And lastly, 2 Fiendish Chain. Now, if you want to run Solemn Strike in place of the chain, you can do that as well, since you don't really pay too much life in this deck. Very easy. Just a key and easy swap if you wanted to do that. But that is it for the main deck. We will now move on to the extra. I run 3 Evilswarm Ophion, the main go-to exceed of the deck. Way too good. He's a searcher, and he limits your opponent for the level 5 or higher monster plays. He limits you as well, but you really do not do that at all in this deck. So he's your key card. You want to have this out in the field first turn, if possible, just to have that protection play. He's got some pretty awesome stats as well, 25-50, pretty difficult for a lot of decks to get over, but still very powerful. And for the one-ofs, 1 Bahamut and 1 Ouroboros. Ouroboros is there if you need those power plays for shuffle back, and Bahamut is that big eye Evilswarm that can take some pretty good monsters of your opponent. I also like to run 1 Steel Swarm Roach. It has the Evilswarm in its name, so it will be protected by the other cards, and has that level 5 or higher negation effect. Nightmare has the Book of Moon effect, which is really good for the special summon of monsters. 1 Thanatos, once again, the last Evilswarm option to run in the deck. And I also run 1 Karen Gorgon, the Anti-Luminescent Knight. Very good Exceed summon monster as well to protect your other ones. 1 number 66 Master Key Beetle. They're kind of limited with the targets for Ophion, since you most of the time can only have 1 Exceed monster out in the field, unless you do have a Link monster, but that's very rare in this deck. And also 1 Castel, 1 Baguska, and 1 Tornado Dragon to finish off the Exceed monsters. And lastly, for the Link monsters, I run 1 Decode Talker and 1 Borreload. Very rarely do I get these guys out, but I like to have them in the deck as potential possibilities for Exceed summons. I say Exceed summons. I really hope I didn't mess up Link summons. I didn't mess that up anywhere else earlier in this video, because I was really missing them up and a lot of my words during this video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the other segment of Month of Hidden Arsenal. Stay tuned for more. I hope you enjoyed all that we've dished out so far. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Twig out.